Charles Vallow was shot and killed by Lori's brother Alex Cox inside of a Chandler home back in July of 2019. The question the jury will be asked over the course of this trial is, did Cox shoot Vallow in self-defense, or was this a planned execution? Prosecutors allege that Charles Vallow's murder was a plot motivated by money and religious beliefs.
Lori and Alex knew exactly when this murder would happen and where it would happen.
But Lori Vallow says the death of her then-husband was a case of self-defense.
The evidence will show that Alex then intervened to protect Tylee from being hit with the bat.
Those were parts of the opening statements, laying the groundwork for what this case will look like the next several weeks.
Chandler Police Department, anybody inside, make yourself known!
The first witness called to the stand, a former Chandler police officer, who was one of the first on the scene that 2019 morning.
What were you dispatched for?
It was a shooting.
And testified that when he got into the house, he saw Charles Vallow lying on the floor, appearing to already be dead.
Your prior experience in Illinois and your experience here in Arizona, have you seen deceased people before?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you think this person was dead?
Yes, ma'am.
In her first cross-examination, Vallow pressed the former officer over his decision not to perform CPR on Charles. He said it was apparent to him that Charles was already dead.
And then when fire took over, is that the normal protocol for fire to take over and do the CPR?
Yes.
And so you didn't do CPR, but they did do the CPR. Is that correct?
Yes.
The jury also heard testimony from the officer that first made contact with Cox.
Hi, who are you?
As well as Lori and her daughter Tylee at the scene.
Can you describe his demeanor during the transport?
Calm. Didn't ask. We just talked about things not related to this at all.
Vallow arguing that people can handle stress differently, which is why she says Cox was calm after shooting Charles.
What is your definition of nonchalant?
Kind of like how I am now. I don't have a lot of emotion. I'm not afraid. Just nonchalant.
Is that your typical demeanor?
I guess it depends on the situation and the circumstance.
I mean, this can be a stressful situation, right? So it's your demeanor right now.
It is.
Testifying in court can be a stressful situation.
I guess it can be.
So if that was Alex's normal demeanor, then it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for him to be nonchalant.
And the final witness called to the stand, one of the Chandler firefighters who did perform CPR on Charles. A key witness early on in this trial. We'll have more from his testimony and more on how Vallow fared as her own attorney on the first day of her trial, coming up tonight at 10.
Touching on the fact that she is representing herself, which there's a lot of buzz about that in general. How was her demeanor in court today with taking the questions and serving as her own attorney?
Watching through it, she seemed very respectful to the judge, to the prosecutor, to the witnesses on stand. The prosecution did several times object whether they were alleging, and the judge sustained that Vallow was getting into testimony. She wasn't asking questions. She was more just kind of stating what she perceived as facts. So there were a lot of objections that were sustained. I think that's something that a lot of seasoned attorneys think will be the biggest challenge for her, just kind of those technical aspects of being a lawyer, because she does know her case, but nobody can just learn in a short amount of time how to prosecute or defend yourself as a lawyer in a murder case of this degree.
Sure. She was certainly trying to conduct herself as a lawyer. How well she does is another matter. Zach Prelutsky, thanks for that. All right, we will have much more coverage all throughout Lori Vallow trial, and you can watch live coverage right here on Arizona's Family. We will